Hey, good morning, sports bettors. It is Matt Modi here with OddsJam, coming to you in this video to give you some anytime touchdown score best bets for Sunday night football tonight. We got an awesome game here between the Cowboys and my Eagles. 5-0 Eagles against the 4-1 Cowboys. Now, admittedly, specifically for anytime touchdown score bets, it's a little bit difficult because this game has such a low over/under of about 42.5. So the screen that you currently see on my screen here is completely free to use. You go to oddsjam.com, you go to sports NFL, and then you can click any one of these markets and you can line shop for completely free, which is pretty cool because if you want to place some anytime touchdown score bets, which is what we're going to do, we want to make sure that we're getting the best odds, and using OddsJam to line shop is an easy way to do that. Also showing you the importance of being signed up for every sportsbook available in your state, because the more sportsbooks you're signed up with, obviously the best chance you have of getting the best odds. So for this individual game, there's a couple things that I'm looking for. But number one, just to talk about the general thought process of what we're looking for here, we're looking for some player with some sort of outlier bet. Like Michael Gallup wouldn't necessarily apply. FanDuel, DraftKings, and Tipico all have him at plus 350. And then Fox Bet isn't that far behind at plus 340. And then Betfred and PlayUp aren't far behind that. So really not a huge outlier here. Same thing with Miles Sanders, plus 140 on FanDuel. Most books have it relatively close, except for BetMGM and Caesars, which always has the worst odds for anytime touchdown scores. So we're looking for some sort of outlier across all of the different books. And the first player that I have identified for my anytime touchdown score best bet is A.J. Brown at plus 165, either at FanDuel or Fox Bet. So I'm going to lock this in on Fox Bet. It's a half a unit play, but for those of you at home, you can lock this in on FanDuel for the same exact odds. So what we're looking at here as this bet gets locked in, so plus 165 on these two books. PlayUp has it a little close at plus 155, 10 cents lower. Betfred has it 50 cents lower, and then Tipico, DraftKings, 25 cents lower, then MGM all the way down at plus 120. So the plus 165 is a pretty decent outlier. Like, you can see the difference when you take the numbers into account and you scale that between the Michael Gallup one and this A.J. Brown one. So I guess I got to wait a little bit to lock that one in. But the reason why I like this one for football reasons, this has classic squeaky wheel treatment written all over it. A.J. Brown had 3 targets in the Eagles' first drive, or 3 receptions on the first drive last week. Didn't get a reception the rest of the game. Now, after the game, they interviewed him, and he just said that he said all the right things. He's happy they won. All he's looking for is the Eagles to win. But reporters noted that he didn't seem quite as jovial in the post-game locker room than he normally does. He's normally a happy-go-lucky guy. Even in an Eagles victory, seemed a little bit more somber. We saw this movie happen on the other side of the field, the other receiving side of the field, I should say, with Devonta Smith. Week 1, Devonta Smith had 0 catches. Week 2, and Week 3, he was peppered with targets. I think the same thing is going to happen in A.J. Brown here with A.J. Brown. He's one of their best red zone weapons, him and Dallas Goedert. So even though Hurts is probably going to end up rushing a lot this game, I do also think they're going to give A.J. Brown a ton of targets, and he's probably their best receiver in the red zone. So counting on him to get in the end zone, I think, is a good play. So let me go ahead and see. There we go. So this one was locked in. Let me just add this one to my bet tracker. So that was worth half a unit. The next one that I'm highlighting here is Tony Pollard at plus 300 on Betfred. Now this outlier is just insane. Plus 300 at Betfred. The closest book, 25 cents lower, PlayUp, plus 274. The next closest is DraftKings, 50 cents lower. And then we see plus 220, plus 240, plus 245. All these books price it considerably lower than the plus 300 on Betfred. So literally by line shopping, you could save yourself, you can make $80 more on the same exact bet. You bet $100 on Betfred, you profit $300. You bet $100 on BetMGM, you only profit $220. Difference of $80 for the same exact bet. So this one, I'm going to put a quarter of a unit on. And my logic here, the Eagles defense is pretty stout, but they have been known to give up the long play, specifically in the run game. So, while Ezekiel Elliott will probably get more carries, Tony Pollard is at higher risk of breaking one for a long gain, for a long touchdown. And the Eagles have had tackling issues a couple different times so far this year. So I think if the Cowboys are going to get anything going on offense, it's going to need to come in a big play. And Tony Pollard is the most likely one to bring that. So he is my second bet for anytime touchdown score, my favorite one for the Cowboys. And that is going to be it. So we are going with Tony Pollard and A.J. Brown as our anytime touchdown score bets tonight. If you're tailing these, let me know. Would love to hear it. But that's all I got for you guys. So appreciate you watching and have a good one.